This video is not about what I thought it was going to be about. I'm on my way to go get checked out in my flying club's RV-12 IS. See, I thought this video was going to be about the RV-12, but really it's more about what it's like to get checked out in a new airplane and how that experience really didn't go the way that I thought it would. But it's still a little bit about the RV-12, so let's go ahead and talk about that. The RV-12 IS is Van's Aircraft's light sport variant of their popular lineup of home-built aircraft. It's powered by a Rotax 912 IS. It has a reduction gearbox in it, it's fuel injected, and it's completely FADEC controlled. Some other differences are it's a lot lighter on the controls. It's also just lighter overall, and it uses a stick instead of a yoke, which wasn't a huge deal to me. It has a full glass panel and autopilot. It has a castering nose wheel. It's got this really nice bubble canopy that gives you really good visibility. But as a cheapskate, my favorite thing about this airplane is that it only burns about 4 gallons per hour. Oh my goodness, guys, it has a cup holder. That means my wife is going to be willing to fly with me. Now, it only has one cup holder, and I haven't yet checked to see if my wife's Stanley cup will fit in it. And in comparison to the minivan we drive around town, which has like 137 cup holders, it's still not that much. But that's one more than the Cherokee has. So I'm gonna go try out a new plane on Friday the 13th with a guy named Gremlin, so you know, what could go wrong? We started off on the ground for a while, just going over the basic features of the glass panel.
Com audio is where I can adjust the volume, so if you are piping in music, you want to isolate.
Okay. Yeah, I don't hear you anymore. Okay, I don't hear you either.
Yeah, so you can isolate, so if
you get really annoying, that's the button I push.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Expect it to.
And then we taxied for takeoff. Very, very poorly.
And here you
oh, right, brakes.
The drag.
Slow brakes. All right. Oh, gosh.
Back to the right, back to the right.
Why is this nose wheel not steering? Man, I'm driving like an idiot.
So this might be surprising to some people, but I think the hardest part of learning to fly the RV-12 is learning how to taxi it. You see, for most light airplanes, you have 2 controls you use for steering. There's your steerable nose wheel, which you can control using your feet and the rudder pedals. And then there's differential braking, which you control via toe brakes to brake on the left or the right side. The RV-12, however, doesn't have any nose wheel steering. The nose wheel just casters freely, and you have to do all of your steering with the toe brakes. This is a difficult transition for anyone, but for me it's particularly difficult because the Cherokee I trained in didn't even have toe brakes, so I had to steer entirely with the rudder pedals. So it definitely took some getting used to, and you can watch how much I zigzag when I try to taxi here.
Alright, well the castering nose wheel is definitely going to be something to get used to.
Another thing that took some getting used to was just my change in call sign. I almost entirely trained in one plane, Cherokee 9 3 Whiskey Papa, so to be RV-647 Tango Foxtrot took a lot of getting used to.
All technique, man. What you did was...
Tango Foxtrot, be just a minute.
Alright, copy 3 Whiskey Papa. Everything, I'm up. Sorry, that's 7 Tango Foxtrot. I don't know to respond to 7 Tango Foxtrot yet.
It's right there.
I know, it's just like,
it's
you
right
know,
there.
That's not my name.
It's not my name.
My name's 3 Whiskey
it's
Papa.
Not my name. No, it ain't.
Actually, my daughter has started even calling me 3 Whiskey Papa sometimes. Be like, Dad, 3 Whiskey Papa? Oh, what? I really like the visibility in this thing, though. That's like a whole different kind of flying. I like it.
So you can now get out of your checklist and go back to a moving map display if you want.
All right.
Smooth, man. Smooth.
That was not me, that was the wind.
Uh-huh.
And the sun was in my eyes.
Yeah, swamp gas off of Venus.
Carter 204, left turn, your discretion.
Yeah, I'm the aircraft for a second. I'm just trying to feel the turbulence.
124.
Well, it stopped as soon as you grabbed this stick.
Left turn approved, 204.
There we
It
go.
didn't stop, it just, don't over control your plane. Look how little I'm moving the stick. You can put your hand on the stick. Look how little I'm moving it.
There.
Make sense? Okay, you have the aircraft.
Next we did a test pilot thing called maneuver blocks, which is where you fly at like 90 knots and you just do a little turn to the left, little turn to the right, little pitch up, little pitch down, little left rudder, little right rudder, and then repeat the same process at 85 knots and then 80 knots and keep getting slower and slower just to be able to kind of feel how the airplane behaves at each of these different speeds. And then you keep doing that until...
Oh, all right.
And then we continue doing it with the stall horn just blaring. And I'm not going to make you watch that because it's minutes of... But then we keep going until we actually hit the stall.
Let's keep slowing it down. 40.
Oh, there we go.
Keep the nose down, nose down. There you go.
After that, we did a couple more stalls, played with the avionics for a bit, learned how to use the autopilot. Then we did some touch and goes at Mojave, which unfortunately I did not get on video. Briefly shared the pattern with this guy, and then eventually called it a day. So after that flight, I still had to fly a couple more hours to meet the insurance requirements to get checked out on the plane. So I did another flight a little while later, and it was a really eye-opening experience for me. You see, I knew that I still had to learn more in the RV, but in my mind, this second checkout flight was really just something to check off the box to meet the hours, and I really didn't think there'd be any issue with it. In fact, I was so confident that I would get checked out that I had already planned a trip with my wife in the RV for the next week. I knew that when you get your pilot certificate, it's really just a license to keep learning, and I knew I would be learning for the rest of my flying life. But for some reason, I think I just thought that the rest of the learning would be easy. Like, once you get your pilot certificate, then you can just hop in any airplane and with a little bit of instruction, you'll be good to go. Turns out it doesn't really work that way. For my second flight, I flew with my club's chief pilot, Morgan, and the whole flight was characterized by me making dumb mistake after dumb mistake.
Okay, and then because we do have windier winds, we're definitely going to crosswind taxi today.
Okay. So, right now we're basically straight into the wind, but...
Wind
But we'll
070.
Oh, that's right, so we're straight away from the wind right now.
So when you're in a new airplane, it makes sense that you'd be bad at some things, but does it really make sense that you'd be bad at interpreting the wind direction? That's not really something that changes from plane to plane. For whatever reason, being in the RV that day made me just plain stupid. I think some of that was just because I was a little bit rusty because I hadn't flown much in a little while. Some of that was because being in a new airplane just makes you feel more task saturated. And I think maybe a little bit of it is because I was with Morgan, who is the club's vice president, safety officer, and chief pilot, and I felt a little bit of pressure to perform so that, you know, she didn't think I was a terrible pilot. But whatever the reasons involved, I did not fly well that day.
Fox Ground, RV-7 Tango Foxtrot is at the West Hangars with Romeo. Request taxi to 6 for departure to the north.
You got to give him your full call sign next time.
RV-7 Tango Foxtrot, Fox Ground, runway 6, taxi via Alpha, Alpha 1.
Alpha 1, RV-647 Tango Foxtrot.
And you are legally required to repeat the runway back.
Every time I'm in a new airplane, my radio calls just get really bad.
And just slow down. So do one thing at a time, right? Just
Yep.
stop, then make the radio call.
Okay.
I do that all the time. New airplanes, new airports. Go to our crosswind controls right now.
Right now I should be diving away, huh?
Diving away. 070.
Oh, you're right, 70.
Something I like to do too is put my heading bug where my winds are.
That's a good idea. Alright, that's pattern altitude.
You're still descending.
Oh, you're right.
Be aware of that.
Yep, thanks.
Put a little bit of power in there to keep your altitude. Right rudder, right rudder, right rudder.
Cosmo traffic, Comanche 525 on Papa, 10 miles to the southwest, 5,300 inbound to land and running up that right base runway, full stop.
Yep. Okay.
I forgot which way flaps go.
Let's go ahead and do a taxi back.
All right.
So yeah, we've kind of rolled past our point where we agreed, hey, we're gonna stop, which is fine. No big deal. But this kind of goes back to the conversation we were having earlier, where we're doing too many things at once, I think. So if cleaning up the plane is going to be a little difficult, then just plan on a full stop. We do need just rudder control throughout. We kind of skidded into that turn base to final, which is very sketchy.
Right.
Right rudder, back on center line. Hold it. Right rudder. Gotta hold that right rudder. More.
We will not skid this time.
Yeah, much better.
Does that seem like I'm aligned in terms of flying straight?
Yeah, you look pretty good. You're a little left of center line.
Okay.
Keep that nose coming down.
Okay.
A little bit of right rudder. Yeah, right rudder. Okay.
Yep.
Hold the nose.
And go.
Alright, we'll head back to Fox. So we'll try 1 or 2 there.
Clear for the option and make left traffic. RV-7, take a Foxtrot.
Runway 24, runway 6 rather. Full call sign, first call, runway instruction always. He's being nice about it, but they will definitely yell at you for it.
Alright.
And keep yourself right over center line. So you gotta be moving a little bit.
Fox Tower, Warrior 13 Charlie is about 7 to the south with Sierra, full stop.
Yeah. Alright, transition. Ground effect.
46313 Charlie, Fox Tower, continuing down and report intercept.
Are we going again?
Yeah, let's try again.
Right. Oh, man.
Your flaps are down.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, okay.
Alright, take a breath.
Alright.
Shake it off.
Well, stupid. Alright.
One thing at a time. One thing at a time.
I really thought I raised my flaps. Apparently not.
I think you went the other direction.
Dang it. Oh, and I'm also like not even close to full throttle.
Clear to land, runway 6,
Yep,
13
so
Charlie.
aviate, navigate, communicate. Always. And then we can debrief everything else later.
Alright. Clear for the option number 2 behind the full stop traffic, Turkey, or RV-7 Tango Foxtrot.
Runway 6.
Did I? Man. I thought that was something I always did right. Apparently not. I mean, it's possible that I'm doing worse than normal today, but considering how many times I've missed that, maybe I don't do that very well.
This caused me to question, am I good about reading back runway numbers, or did I just think I was? So I went back and I reviewed video of a few flights before when I was flying the Cherokee, and it turns out I actually am good about always remembering to read back the runway numbers. This was the most interesting takeaway from the entire flight for me, because it showed me that I can have something that I normally do just fine, and just the fact that I'm in an unfamiliar airplane, I'll completely space it.
Yeah, this approach looks really nice, so keep those movements going, ailerons and rudders. Just a touch of right rudder. Keep that nose going down, and then make sure you get yourself in ground effect. Get ready to flare. Look down the runway. Hold, flare. Flare. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and call it a full stop for today, since we're close on time.
Okay.
Well, I definitely have room for improvement.
Yeah, I would definitely, I'm going to recommend we do another pattern flight at least, just to build your confidence in it. So, like, the basics are there. I just want to see a little bit more control on the ground effect transition to flare.
Okay.
But your crosswind, we got the pieces of the crosswind landing, so not concerned there, which is good news. And then just kind of just basic CRM, right? So getting oversaturated, doing multiple things at once. Just want to see a better breakdown. When was the last time you flew?
I haven't flown a whole lot in a while.
Yeah, I would say one more flight with an instructor, and then I would definitely recommend before you take passengers or anything, just a couple flights on your own.
So I just had my second attempt at getting checked out at the RV-12. I was really hoping to get checked out because the Cherokee is down for an annual, and I was really excited to fly my wife on a trip next week. That would have been a lot of fun. And I just did not fly very well. And some of it was stupid stuff that, like, I should have, like, that doesn't even have to do with a new airplane. And some of it was stuff that did have to do with a new airplane. I do feel like I taxied a lot better, so at least there's that. But I don't know. I felt oversaturated the whole time, and I'm just not used to this airplane. And it's frustrating because I feel like a brand new student again. And I think that's just a surprise to me. I didn't see that coming. I knew, like, obviously after I became a pilot, I would still have new things I need to learn. I knew that for sure. I didn't think that I would feel like a brand new student again. I think it kind of just took me by surprise to realize that I could be so bad at flying again. But this time I don't have the luxury of being able to, go and fly 2 or 3 times a week to make it up. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to get good in this airplane, flying, every other week. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. The good news is that after that flight, I realized, you know what? If I feel like a student again, maybe I should start acting like a student again. So from that day on, I decided, okay, I'm going to study. I studied the POH, I reviewed my video, I practiced checklists, and I did all those things that I did when I was a primary student. Now, unfortunately, my next flight in the RV was delayed over 4 months due to a radiator going bad and weather and schedules not matching up and just other maintenance issues. But because I prepared this time, even after those 4 months, my next flight just went way better. So on this flight, we started off kind of like a check ride where you are doing the beginning of a fake cross country. We're pretending we're flying to Camarillo so we could kind of learn about the avionics, how to enter the flight plan, and play with the autopilot. Then we did a simulated engine failure and then headed north to do a few maneuvers. And of course, because the flight went so well, only one of my cameras worked for most of the flight.
Step, and then we'll start with steep turns. Steep turns are so fun in the sky. Cool.
Alright.
Alright.
Pretty happy with that.
Yeah, very nice. And we'll just do a clean stall to the brake, power off.
Power off?
Yeah,
Alright.
let's keep it easy today.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh, watch that aileron. That's
Alright.
rudder control. Let's try that one more time. I want to see some rudder control.
Alright.
It's always going to tail off in this plane, so just be ready for that on the rudder. You're still going to brake. Brake comes first, just like in your spin recovery, right? But rudder's going to do it.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do it from here.
Okay. Rudder, yeah. Good. So brake, get the rudders in there, much better.
Alright.
Alright, let's go ahead and go back to Fox. Let's do some landings.
Okay. Fox Tower, RV-7 Tango Foxtrot is midfield right downwind, runway 24.
RV-7 Tango Foxtrot, runway 24, cleared option, wind 230 at 11, left to right closed traffic, your discretion.
Cleared the option, runway 24, 7 Tango Foxtrot. Alright, we're a little farther on downwind than I thought, I think.
Oh, weather pattern's always better. Especially on the first one, right?
Sure.
Give yourself time to think. Help future Nathan out.
He needs all the help he can get.
Don't we all?
Pretty high, I would say.
Watch your airspeed, watch your airspeed.
Alright.
Before you touch the flaps.
Yep, I checked it not long ago.
It happens
And then
quick
I
in this
descended.
guy,
Yep.
yeah, I know.
Alright, now we're going to go about half flaps.
Well, that's another thing that's a little bit different for me about the RV and the Cherokee. In any airplane, you should always make sure that you're in the wide arc before you put down the flaps. But realistically, in the Cherokee, pretty much any time you're even thinking about using flaps, you're probably already going to be in the wide arc. I should always check it, but perhaps I never really fully developed that habit. In the RV, however, you really have to pay attention to that.
Yeah, you look down for a second and
all of a sudden
5
you're a lot
knots.
faster.
Yep. Happens to me every flight. I'm like, ah!
A little faster.
Oh, keep that nose up. Hold the nose up.
Oh.
Yep.
Took off again.
So with that nose wheel, if it gets caught weird.
It'll kind of shimmy. And,
Yeah, so just hold it up, just like your soft field landing.
Okay.
Okay?
Cool. Here
Nice.
we go. There's that oscillation we've talked about, only more extreme this time.
Alright, I'm back on center line and then full power.
Okay.
There you go, much better.
Alright.
Let's make this one a power off 180.
Okay. Fox Tower, 7 Tango Foxtrot is on mid to the right downwind runway 24, request a short approach.
Tower 7 Tango Foxtrot, short approach approved, runway 24, cleared option, wind 23013.
Clear the option, runway 24, 7 Tango Foxtrot.
Alright, rip it.
Alright.
Another really fun thing about the RV is that it glides really well. But when you're practicing simulated engine outs, it's something you have to really pay attention to, because I always underestimate how far it's going to glide.
I am pretty high though, aren't I? I'm not in the wide arc.
Yeah,
Gonna get in the wide arc.
Gonna get in that wide arc.
I'm gonna go full flaps, because I'm quite high.
Alright, and then slip it.
Yep,
right?
we'll slip this, so I'm gonna...
So aileron into the wind, rudder opposite direction.
Yeah, which
will set you up for a crosswind landing anyway. Watch that airspeed.
Oh, alright.
Yeah, it's gonna increase rapidly. Beautiful.
Okay.
Very nice. Alright, let's do one more normal landing, okay?
Alright.
And then we can call it a day unless you feel like you need anything else.
Okay.
When she said that, that's when I realized, hang on.
Well, I feel a lot better about this flight than I did on the first two, so...
I think a lot of that has to do with just flying, right? So even if you're just beating up the pattern for a little bit, that makes a huge, huge difference. So keep doing that. This is a very good flight.
Alright.
Yeah, like I said, I recommend just taking this thing out on a quick little cross country somewhere. That'll give you time to play with the avionics. Give you time to just hang out in the airplane, right? You can do a few patterns, but nothing to it.
Alright. Yeah, I definitely need to get more fluent in the avionics, but,
yeah, but
like you said, that's
yeah,
something I can learn
as you go for sure. Especially with these Garmins, there is so much capability in these that I don't even think I've scratched the surface. So just take it on a cross country somewhere, play with it on the ground. Just be careful, right? Just like with the autopilot for getting distracted. Stop everything, aviate, navigate, communicate.
Alright.
River 7 Tango Foxtrot, runway 24, clear to land, winds 23015.
Cleared land, runway 24, 7 Tango Foxtrot.
Okay, I did still make some mistakes.
I do it all the time, don't worry.
Dumb plane.
Yep. I know, I've been swapping between so many planes that I'm like, I don't know who I am anymore. Perfect.
Alright.
Much better.
Cool.